And then there's Mark on the beach and the three boys.
My husband and I were married in the early 60s. We weren't having any birth children and decided we wanted a family, so we started to adopt children.
For Peggy and David Sewell,
This is where we picked you up at the agency and you were looking us over.
the meaning of family has turned out to be different than some would expect.
We adopted 6 children. Mark was our third son, our third child.
Despite growing up with parents who didn't look like him, Mark Sewell says that really didn't matter.
My parents are the only parents I've ever known. We never really looked at it as anything different. We were surrounded in our lives with people that were involved with adoption and foster care.
While Peggy considered each of her children to be a gift, she learned that there were many children just like hers who were not so fortunate.
When we'd gone in, we'd started to hear that there were children who weren't easily placed in adoption. And these were children with perhaps a medical disability, children of mixed race, children of other races, older children.
It was a problem too big for one person. So Peggy teamed up with some other parents of adopted children to see how they could help. Before she knew it, adoption agencies were asking her to help find homes for the kids that were hardest to place. In 1972, Peggy helped to found Children Awaiting Parents, an organization dedicated to placing kids who languished in the foster care system into permanent homes.
This is the first CAP book. This is where it all started. It was this idea of taking pictures of children, writing a brief description about them. It was certainly groundbreaking in the 70s.
It was an idea that once stirred controversy, but those photos of children waiting to be adopted changed everything.
And as we started to make the kids visible, it was just amazing what happened. These families would say, well, I'll take a kid.
As the executive director of CAP, Peggy recruited her kids as volunteers, but Mark says he never saw himself following in his mother's footsteps after she retired.
Originally, I think, that's mom's passion, that's not mine. 3 years ago, found me raising my hand and saying, okay, I'd like to apply for that job. I think I bring a personal passion to it. Even though I was adopted as an infant, this is what I've lived.
That personal passion that Mark brings to children awaiting parents extends to those who do the difficult work of finding homes for children who have waited the longest.
My relationship with the children is what makes me do what I do every day.
Melanie Schmidt has worked for CAP for the last 6 years. For her, getting to know the kids she works with is the key to placing them in new homes.
A lot of times the children have had so many workers come in and out of their lives that it's difficult for them to warm up at first, and you really have to build that relationship and get them to trust you. And I try to pull out individuals that might have been special to them at some point, whether that's previous foster families, coaches, teachers, anyone who sticks out who had a good relationship with that child.
Many of the kids Melanie works with have spent years in the foster care system. The most challenging cases are often the ones that stick with her, like the story of a teenager named John Wayne.
He was 19 years old, but he truly wanted to be adopted, and he still wanted a family.
A story on the local news brought a couple to Melanie asking about John.
They instantly connected through that video, and they thought, this child should be in our family. He's like one of us.
Today, John is part of that family and has 2 brothers that were also adopted. It's the sort of success story that keeps Mark going, but he says there is still more work to be done.
If the goal was to make the children visible, they're visible, the job is done. The problem is the job isn't done. There's 120,000 children still waiting for homes in this country. So it seemed that what is the next logical step? Well, becoming an authorized agency, helping families find the right kid for them. It's something we already do, but now we'll be doing it for our families.
While the direction forward is clear for children awaiting parents, the need for community and financial support for the present and the future is what will make this dream a reality.
Your support of our organization will go to finding homes for those that have waited the longest in foster care.
You're making a gift that is going to give a child a lifetime gift. It isn't just for today or for tomorrow, it's forever.